there, and welcome to More Than Just a Mom. On this podcast, we celebrate the extraordinary stories of moms who wear multiple hats and are making their mark in this world. Hi, I'm your host Shay, the mom of an adorable 2-year-old little boy and the creative mind behind @JackieShay Photography. I want to share my own journey as a mompreneur, finding my passion through all the beautiful chaos of motherhood. And you might be wondering, how did you come up with @JackieShay Photography? Well, it is my name, and that's why I chose it. How did I get started doing what I do? Well, photography has always been a big part of my life. I have owned a camera since I was like 12 or 13 years old. I had my own professional camera, and I loved it. I went around taking pictures of absolutely everything that I could. When I was in high school, I was dual enrolled, so I was taking courses at Eastern Florida State College and getting my AA at the same time. That really just got my base of like learning my camera, learning aperture, learning all the things having to do with camera, Lightroom, which Lightroom that's what I use. I use Photoshop, but Lightroom is my main source. Yeah, that's what I mainly use to edit with. And I highly recommend it to any photographer who's just starting. Use and learn Lightroom. There's plenty of YouTube videos that will help you, but definitely getting to learn Lightroom. My wonderful teacher also gave us plenty of assignments that really sparked my creativity. I remember one of the assignments being reflections, and my mind frame was like a reflection on a body of water. It could have been a reflection on anything. The different things that the whole class came up with just one assignment was really cool. That's one of the things I miss most about my photography courses, is having other photographers that we can go and shoot something or have like a prompt and we have to go take pictures of that, and we all came back with all of these crazy different results from that. And that was one of my favorite parts of having a community in that classroom, was just to like bounce creativity and learn different things from other people and things that I never would have even thought of. So how did I get started professionally? Well, I was pregnant with Elijah, and I had my camera, and my friend Cherish was also pregnant at the time and had asked if I'd be willing to take some maternity photos of her, which I am so glad that I did. We went to the Enchanted Forest in Titusville, which is one of my favorite locations. It is so cute and beautiful. I love all the nature and wildlife. And while I was doing her photos, it absolutely lit a spark inside of me that turned into a huge flame. So at this time, I was struggling and in a very abusive relationship with his father. And I was living in Louisiana at the time. And I knew as soon as I had Elijah that I needed to get out of that situation. Unfortunately, some of you might also have been or are in similar situations, and I don't want to talk too much on it because maybe that'll just be another podcast for another day. But only you know what's right, and only you know when it's time to leave. And if you feel unsafe in your relationship, I just have to say, do what you need to get out, to make sure you're safe. I didn't even realize that. I didn't know that or honor that until I had my son. And that's when the light bulb clicked and it was like, this is not safe for him. So I know I have to do something to get out of this. And like, my son needs a mom. So if I'm no longer here because something happened to me, then he's going to be stuck with the repercussions of that. So I knew that what was best was to leave. I created a plan to escape and to get out of there safely. I knew that I wanted to be back in Florida with my community and my family and in the Space Coast again. And I'm so glad that's what I did. After I had Elijah, I could not put my camera down. I literally didn't want to miss a single inch of him growing without it being captured on my camera. My family made like 100 jokes about when we went to get his first haircut at Disney that I took a picture of literally every strand of hair that fell to the ground, which, you know, maybe I did, but I love my son and I wanted the pictures and they turned out great. So, leave me alone, Mom. But as I delved deeper into this creative outlet, I discovered that my passion went beyond just taking pictures of my son, that I wanted to share the joy of capturing memories with other people, with friends and family, and maybe I could make some money out of doing something that I absolutely love to do. So I like to call myself a love photographer. And you ask, what does that mean? What is a love photographer, Shay? Well, I am going to tell you. A love photographer, whether it's your family, your kids, your journey of motherhood, your love story, or your brand, anything that came to mind when I ask, what is it that you love? That's what I love to photograph. I love to photograph passion and all the things. Balancing motherhood and running my photography business was no easy feat. Sleepless nights, diaper changes, breastfeeding, and MOPS meeting, which were my saving grace at that time, filled my days for quite a while. That was about all that I did. I realized that being a mom gave me a unique perspective into being a photographer and a deeper appreciation of the beauty of life and things around me. Elijah, my son, has literally become my muse. He is the reason I desire to create meaningful art. I wanted to share some of my triumphs and challenges that I faced early in the beginning when starting my photography business, which, by the way, is only 2 years old. And thank you so much for everyone who's been with me from the beginning. At Cherish, thank you so much for kicking my butt and asking me to do your maternity photos, or else I probably would not be where I am today. But yeah, there was definitely some times where I doubted myself. I still doubt myself. There's times where I feel guilty for not spending all of my time, you know, talking or playing with Elijah, or having to leave him even for an hour to go shoot a session. There are absolutely times where I doubted myself. I still doubt myself. I sometimes feel guilty. I'm sure a lot of you can resonate with that, but that mom guilt of not spending every waking moment with your child and getting on the floor and playing with them every second of the day. I do try and devote some time every day to do that. But running a business, you can't do that 24/7. You still have to work and be mom. So finding that balance was really hard for me. I still struggle with that sometimes. For the last year, I was also working a full-time job, taking care of my son, and working on my business. Thankfully, I was fired from my job, and now I am full-time. I'm here at the content studio as well, and we're making it work. Juggling, working full-time, being a mom, and running my own business after I worked a full-time job and mommed. I was tired. I was absolutely exhausted, but I've learned that pursuing my passion doesn't make me any less of a devoted mom. In fact, it made me a more happier and a much more fulfilled one. I'll be honest, there can still be days where I feel extremely overwhelmed, and juggling client shoots, editing photos, and taking care of my little dude while finding the time to get here to the content studio and editing all those videos is hard. But with the support of my family and friends that I've made along the way, some old and some new, I've tried to find a schedule that works for both my business and my family life. And you know what? It was all worth it. Seeing the joy on my client's face after they receive their photos is something that makes my job so worth it. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and please leave a review. It would help us so tremendously. Follow us on @morethanjustamom_podcast to stay up to date on all the upcoming episodes and all the behind the scenes fun. Remember, as moms, we are capable of achieving greatness in all our endeavors. Until next time, embrace your passions and continue being more than just a mom.